Today we are going to see how to simplify certain algebraic fractions. Now for the exam, if you see the word simplify, it just means that they are asking you to reduce the given fraction by finding the common factors and simplifying it into the lowest terms. Starting with the numerator, you can see it's a times b minus b times b. It's a square that is given here. You can see b as the common factor, so it's going to be a minus b. And looking at the denominator, which is a square minus b square, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. This is one of the identities that you should be knowing. So I have the numerator as b times a minus b, and my denominator is a plus b times a minus b. Using this, I'll write b times a minus b over a plus b times a minus b. I can cancel a minus b and a minus b, so my final answer will be b over a plus b. Now in the second question, you can see you have a numerator and the denominator given to you. And looking at the terms, the numerator has two terms, which is again 42np minus 7n, from which you can have the common factors here, because 42 can be written as 6 times 7. So in that case, 7 becomes a common factor. And you have n there, so I'll take 7n as a common factor for these terms, and within brackets you have 6p and you have minus 1. So this is going to be a numerator. Coming down to the denominator, you have 4 terms, which is 12pt minus 2t plus 18mp minus 3n. As you have learned earlier, whenever you have 4 terms coming in, you can just group them and try to find the common factor, or try to factorize them. So from these 2 terms, I have 2 and t as a common factor, so the remaining term will be 6p, because I have a 12 here. 2 times 6 gives me 12, and t is already here, so the remaining is p, minus, so I'll put a 1 here because 2t is factored out, plus, from these 2 terms you can see 18 is 6 times 3, so I have a 3 common and I have m. I'm taking 3m outside the brackets. I have 6p inside minus 1. Now you can see that from both these terms, 6p minus 1 is a common term. So you can further write the answer as 6p minus 1 times 2t plus 3m. Now you have the numerator and the denominator in the desired form. So you can write this fraction is going to look like 7m times 6p minus 1 divided by 6p minus 1 times 2t plus 3m. As you did earlier, you can strike off the common terms in the numerator and in the denominator. Okay, to just cancel them. And your final answer will look like 7n divided by 2t plus 3n. If you look at question 3, the numerator is a quadratic expression where you have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 in the numerator. So we'll be trying to factorize this expression first. So looking at the sum, it's plus 5, and you have a product given by 2 times negative 3. Don't forget to take this negative sign here. So 2 times negative 3 giving you negative 6. You have to find two numbers where the product is going to be negative 6 and the sum is a plus 5. If you're not familiar with this technique, you have to go through the topic that you have done earlier, which is splitting the middle term and just how do you regroup and factorize these terms. Here I'll go for a plus 6 and a minus 1 because I can see that the product gives me negative 6. At the same time, 6 minus 1 gives me a plus 5. So you have 2x squared plus 6x minus 1x. I'm splitting the middle term here. 5x is split into 6x minus 1x minus 3. I have 4 terms, so I'm going to factorize each of the two groups separately. I have 2x and x plus 3. Here I'll take minus 1 and x plus 3 within the brackets. I can see x plus 3 the common term. So further factorizing it as x plus 3 multiplied by 2x minus 1. So I have factorized the numerator, and now thinking about the denominator. Now here in step 1 I can see the even numbers, so 2 is going to be a common factor, so I have x squared minus 9, and you cannot just stop here with x squared minus 9 because as we did in the first question, we'll be using the identity which is x squared minus 3 squared. I'll change 9 to 3 squared. So I get 2 times x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. I'm applying the identity, which is a square minus b square equals a plus b times a minus b. Now how do you know whether I have to do till here or I have to stop at this level? Now look into the numerator. Can you see an x plus 3 term here? So this should give you a hint that you shouldn't be stopping at this point, because in most cases you will have terms to be cancelled from the numerator and the denominator. So this is the term in my numerator and this is going to be the term in my denominator. Going back to the question, this fraction can be rewritten as x plus 3 times 2x minus 1 over 2 multiplied by x plus 3 and x minus 3. Cancelling the same terms. So let me just erase this part now. So this is going to be 2x minus 1 over 2 times x minus 3. You can even write 2x minus 1 over 2x minus 6. Moving on to the last question for the day. The numerator is again a quadratic function and you know how to solve it using the sum and product. I'm going to have a sum of negative 1. See, negative x means the coefficient here is negative 1, or the coefficient of x is negative 1 here. The product is, again, you're going to have, this is going to be a 1 here, so 1 multiplied by negative 20 giving you a negative 20. Again, let me remind you, please don't ignore these signs. If you got a negative, you use it in your calculation. Finding two numbers giving me a negative 20 as the product and a sum of negative 1, I will use a negative 5 and 4. So the product of negative 5 and 4 giving me a negative 20, and the sum of these numbers negative 5 and 4, giving me a negative 1. So x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 20. I have 4 terms, so let me group them. So I will be taking x as a common factor here. I have x minus 5 plus 4, and it's an x minus 5 here again. And my final answer will look like x minus 5 times x plus 4. Now looking at the denominator, you have x to the power 3 there, which tells you it's a cubic expression that you have. But the simplification is again, since I need more space, let me just write the numerator, which is x minus 5 times x plus 4. And I'll just erase this part to simplify the denominator. The denominator is x cubed minus 10x squared plus 25x. As a first step, I can see x as a common factor for all the three. So what comes inside here is x squared minus 10x plus 25. Now this is a quadratic expression that you can easily factorize. So you have x within brackets. Can you see it's going to be the product here is going to be plus 25, and the sum is a negative 10. You have the two numbers, negative 5 multiplied by negative 5 giving you a plus 25, and negative 10 is the sum of these. So I'll just directly write it as x minus 5 and x minus 5 being the factorized form of this expression. Now you can see my denominator is also factorized. Going back to the question here, x multiplied by x minus 5 times x minus 5. When you simplify, you have common terms in the numerator and denominator, which can be cancelled. And here the answer is going to be x plus 4 over x multiplied by x minus 5. You can even write it as x plus 4 over x squared minus 5x.